right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock, Carol Ann Baldwin is in the studio. Remember, Carol Ann comes into the studio to entertain us with talk about gardening. And you can join in on the fun by calling Carol Ann at 622-9622. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. Real good.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Sure can.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Right now, it is 55 degrees in Trenton, New Jersey.
And it's 56 here.
And it's 58 here.
58 here. Mine says 56.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And listen to this. Cleveland, Ohio, 32 degrees. That's not that far from Trenton.
No.
There must be cold
Well,
weather.
and it's, the East Coast, you end up with,
So it's coming.
Yeah.
Bellevue is 59, Denell is 58, and we're 58. So.
Yeah.
But yours says something different?
mine says 56.
Huh, well.
Because I brought up the weather. I said, let me see.
Must be a different source.
Yeah, I got the Weather Channel. Or no, weather.com.
Okay, this is
weather.
This is AccuWeather.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Weather Channel. So AccuWeather,
close.
yeah, it's
Hey,
close
two
enough.
different
2 degrees,
thermometers.
right?
Yeah,
It's how far apart are they? Which one's near the exhaust of an airplane?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I figured I would take a look because the weather report I had heard this morning says, that it's supposed to get sunny today. I guess had a great rain last night, and that we're going to have like a week.
I heard thunder last night, by the way.
Yeah, I did too. Thunder, and I think I saw lightning. So some of that rain, is one of those things, a flash happened, and you kind of half wake up and go back to sleep. And so that nice ionization to the rainwater and green up the grass, and your grass is still, it's still dormant just because we had that cold spell. So don't get out there with any of the fertilizers. But we had a nice rain. The weather report I had heard this morning said we probably won't get any more for about a week. But that was a nice. I didn't check and see how much we got, but it sounded like a good
heavy,
rain.
yeah,
It
yeah.
sounded like a pretty good rain, and there's still some puddles in some areas. So if you haven't gotten out yet, let the ground dry, let the bushes dry. Why get soaking wet out there? It is only 56, 58 degrees. Sun's supposed to come out. We're supposed to have a gorgeous rest of the week. So it's a great time to get out there and get started in that landscape.
And you do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Hey, good morning. First off, it's bright and sunny over in Moss Bluff.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah, it got cloudy, so what's that telling you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, it is real sunny. But the
Nice.
reason I called is, the new development off of 326 right there, it's a couple years ago now, they planted the bushes that are on the fence line that are pretty
Okay.
well growing up the fence.
Uh-huh.
And they've kind of got like a backwards type hook on the plant. It's not a thorn, but it's like a hook that allows the plant to just freely grow.
Okay, yeah.
What type of bush plant is that?
It's growing up the fence or up a wall?
Well, it's a freestanding bush, but it will grow up things because the branches of the bush, it's a flimsy type bush. I know it gets a lot of white aphids on it in the summertime. They pretty well planted just about anywhere you see fence lines going up, and they're real kind of unkempt, tall, bushy, small leaf type plant.
With
I thought it was Iliagnus, but
I'm thinking that that's what I'm thinking on that is that's used a lot in a screen, or usually normally around horse farms where they can put it between two fences to try to keep it contained.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's probably what it is one of the varieties of an Iliagnus. And if it's at a development, it's probably silverthorn, where that's a little more tame than some of the old standard ones.
Okay, I will look that one up because I got a place over there that along the road up over Moss Bluff. I want to get something up on the fence line for the horses.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and you see that. Yeah, they see that a lot because it's quick growing. Even though it does put out those long arms, which can get it fills it in very quickly. Can get a little tangly or however you want to put that, but it can be just sheared right down a fence. And I think the silverthorn's a little not quite as excited when growing, not quite as quick of a grower out like that, or exuberant grower. Maybe that's a better word.
that's a good word for unkempt.
There you go.
All right, y'all be good. God bless you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah, that's a silverthorn's one. You do see it over on 27th Avenue over here near the horse farms. They put it between two fences a lot of time on a stallion farm. They always have to put two fences on stallion farms to keep them from jumping over.
Right.
But it helps to contain the plant itself, that you can at least go along that fence line and just take and shear it down, every couple of years. They did it over around the bend over here not too long ago, and I haven't been back through recently to see how far it's come back. But it's a pretty quick grower, but it can be unkempt, exuberant.
Grows quick.
It grows quickly, and if you don't want maintenance, don't go with that one.
And you have another phone call.
Great.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Sunny and 6/10 of an inch of rain last night here in Silver Springs.
Okay, that's a nice amount.
Yeah, anything over half an inch is really nice. It's great, especially this time of year since are we in the dry season or are we going into the dry season?
This is more of our dry season. What happens is normally our cold fronts get escorted in with a rain event, but then we have the dry periods afterwards. But our winter and our spring are usually our drier seasons.
Yeah.
That's why certain plants just don't do well here in the.
According to the Weather Channel, which I watch quite a bit, it looks like there's a major pattern change, and we're going to get quite like normal here, in the 70s now, this week, coming week, and then probably into next week. So we might see maybe the last of the real cold stuff.
That's what I'm looking at, too. I just brought up the 10-day forecast. Today's high is supposed to be 77 with partly cloudy, all through with 70s. Mid-70s throughout this week, next week, middle of next week, a little cooler below, it looks like about mid-60s. But even still, it's February. February, as I like to refer it to.
Yeah, 45, 73 are our normal high and lows.
Yep. It looks like we got pretty good weather for, let's hope we're finished with it. And then going forward to the first part of March, it looks like it continues like that.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.
And if you want to call, let me just give the number. It's 622-9622. We welcome and invite your phone calls. 622-WOCA.
And this is a great time to get ready, to get thinking about redoing that landscape, to be doing that mulch, getting things ready to begin to fertilize and things like that. So, stocking up on things, getting it together to where you get that nice weekend
Right.
after the Master Gardener Festival, so that you do your purchasing there. Get your new plants, get your herbs, get some vegetables, get some seeds from there, get some new tips, do some more learning at the Master Gardener Festival, and then either later that weekend, or hey, just take Monday, Tuesday off of that next week and do the yard work following that. If I'll sign off for you if you did for your note for your dog for the boss.
Yeah.
Just take those 2 days. Take the 14th and 15th off. Get the yard done and just make it a good beginning of a spring.
That's kind of fun. Somebody might take you up on that.
Oh, I know. That'd be kind of fun, though, to sign off on one of those. Yeah, taking 2 days off for mental health type, respite here for yourself. Yeah, you have a stressful job. Gardening is therapy. So, and you get tomatoes.
We got a break coming up. Did you hear the news story this morning about these two guys, scientists, that want to have one time for the whole world?
Wow.
So right now it would be noon here, and it would be noon everywhere in the whole world.
That'd be weird.
It would be weird.
Yeah, because
it'd be 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock for us.
All right, we'll take a little break. Be right back. Carol Ann is here. If you want to ask a question about your lawns or your gardens, the number is 622-9622. We've got a good 45 minutes left. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. The tornado watch in effect until 8 a.m. for Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties. After those storms end, though, just variable clouds with a high of 76 to 80 today. Tonight, mainly clear and cooler, low 45 to 53. Wednesday, mostly sunny and nice with a high 71 to 75. And Thursday, partly sunny with a high of 69 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Evan Duffy.
We're saving thousands with Robert Palmer.
So rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around. If you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to get the best credit card, if you're looking at student loans, cell phone bills, you name it, rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around.
That's rule number one, just one more vital part of fighting back to stop being a financial zombie. Yes, you can take the mystery out of the complicated world of finances. Take charge when it comes to your money. Listen in on The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, Saturdays at 12:05.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We also want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2016. We are ready to be of service with our pasture mowing. 352-629-2440. Locally owned and operated, experienced and reliable, commercial and residential, licensed and insured. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440.
Palm Garden wants to get to the heart of the matter. If you've been in the hospital as a cardiac patient, maybe you have a pacemaker or congestive heart failure or an arrhythmia, or perhaps you're a heart bypass patient, then consider Palm Garden as your rehab choice. With proven outcomes second to none, Palm Garden fixes broken hearts. Call today at 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com. The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. I don't remember when I was younger really caring about the temperature. It seems like I look at it like every half hour now. Does that mean I'm getting older, Caroline?
I think it probably does.
58. Is this what we do when we get older? We're
talk
obsessed
about
with the
last,
temperature?
That and the last doctor visit you had. That's kind of
58 degrees and my leg hurts.
Yeah, the knee, it's going to rain, I guess, yeah. So it's, yeah. I think I think if you spend, a lot of us, who spend time outside have a tendency to look at the weather. How many years ago did the Weather Channel come on? And everybody said, a channel dedicated to the weather?
It did seem weird, didn't it?
And it's a great channel. It really is. I mean, they have some interesting programming on there
but
as
I'm
well.
wondering, is it because of my age? Do you know what? But
I'm a little younger than you, and I still think weather channels are really cool.
But I used to only pay attention like if it was really cold or 100 degrees.
Well, see, when we were kids, you paid attention in the wintertime in case it might be a snow day.
You wanted snow, yeah.
You wanted snow, and it would be, any other day of the week, your mother couldn't get you out of the bed. But when you went to bed the night before, and it was snow flurrying or threatening to snow, you were up at 5:30 in order to catch those school closing reports as soon as the superintendents went out in their driveways with a ruler. Yeah, you paid attention to the weather then.
Yeah.
But now we pay attention if you have if you are a person who's outdoors or likes outdoor activities, gardening especially, we do pay attention to the weather. If you keep a garden journal where you're logging, what the precipitation was, how much rain did we get? Do I need to turn the sprinklers on maybe still later in the week? Are the shrubs getting enough? Can I need to let some of this dry because we did get a half an inch of rain that maybe I won't go digging in the soil today, but I can rake out and clean up.
If I did the 4x4 garden you always talk about.
The square foot, yeah.
And started it now.
Right. What could you put in?
Well, two questions. Yeah, the second one is what would I put in? The first one is, do I put in seeds or do I put in little plants?
Well, it would depend. Some plants will do real easy by seed, real quick. Lettuces and things like that you could do by seed right now. You just get a little packet of seed and you just sprinkle a little bit in there.
Lettuce in how long?
Lettuce takes about 28 to 35 days.
That's it. A month from now
harvesting. You're going to have some nice lettuce, harvestable size. And with lettuce, you're not necessarily taking the whole thing out because we don't really grow iceberg lettuce.
Does it have to be sunny or can it be shady?
This time of year you want sun.
Okay.
And for most of the things that you're going to want to grow in the summertime or in the springtime, you're going to want sun. In a few weeks after the festival, March 15th is our last expected frost date here in this area.
Yeah.
So we try not to put out anything that's too tender, like tomatoes or peppers.
What do you think? Do you think we're going to have any
cucumbers.
more frost? I think we're done.
I think we are, but I'm
Yeah.
still trying to err
Not
on
sure.
the side of caution.
Right. A disclaimer.
Yeah, that's it. I err on the side of caution. I'm looking at the weather report. Now, when we do the festival, we will have it planted. Now, it might get put in the ground on Tuesday right before, but we've always done that. It's always been one of those things because it is right there at that edge. I know people who won't plant until Easter just because that's, it's
But that's early this year.
Yeah.
That's like the
Well,
end
it
of
would
March,
be-
right?
Well, that's they go by, or at least that full moon after, what is it, after the first full moon, because that's how that the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring
I don't know.
solstice. It's not an equinox.
You mean to
Or
figure
the
out Easter?
autumn-
I
yeah.
thought Easter was a religious day. No.
It is, but that's how it's measured. I mean, that's how it is marked out on a calendar, that you can figure that out. But there's some people who won't plant until after that full moon, after after the winter. Is it after no, it's not after the winter. Now I'm going to get myself confused. But they won't plant until then. I'll push the envelope a little bit. If the weather continues to look as good as it is, I might get some green beans in early, only because they're so quick and easy that if they do lose them, it's fast enough to just till those back in or spade those back in and replant right on top of that area. Haven't lost much time because they're going to come in and grow quickly. But if, say, you had one and you bought one of those kit 4x4 gardens and you stuck it in, set it up today and you filled it up with a few bags of a good garden mix and wanted to plant now, I would probably plant part of it in like lettuce and
lettuce, what else?
radishes and things like that are going to be a quick, easy, fast thing. Waiting
Are
a couple
tomatoes
weeks.
easy?
Tomatoes aren't really that hard.
Yeah.
But I would buy a plant, but I would do it in a couple weeks.
Oh, wait. Okay.
I would wait, and you could put in 1 or 2 tomato plants. You could put in a pepper plant or 2, cucumbers, squash. All of those things
And
can be planted in.
what fertilizer do I use?
You can either do organic fertilizers using, some of the just going when you're filling your the bed using like the black cow or the
So the mature
compost.
manure works?
The mature manure works.
Okay.
I just put some black velvet in some of these grow bags that I'm going to be demonstrating at the garden this year. So they're getting whatever soil mix, which I think probably, I don't know where it came from, but a farm, it looked like it had plenty of manure in it. But I added, between the 3 bags that I'm filling, I've already put a 50-pound bag of black velvet. That's a mushroom compost into those to add in. And some of the other, going back to the black cow kind of thing, the dynamite is a slow-release fertilizer. You would use that pretty much once. You measure out how much you need, sprinkle that in there, put it in. You're done for needing to fertilize pretty much for the season, for at least 2 to 3 months on some of those vegetable kind of ones because you're watering it a lot and the temperatures. But in the early part of March, mid-March, you can put in the tomatoes and the cucumbers. I would just go from seed. They're big enough to handle. That's usually how you figure it. In the large seed that you can handle easily, go right in the ground. Direct seeded is what we call it.
How deep?
The real
An
small
inch?
ones, usually about an inch.
Okay.
About an inch or so. The envelope
We'll
will
see if
tell
I
you.
do this.
The envelope will tell you.
All I need is a shovel.
All you need is a shovel.
And that's it.
And actually, the little hand tools. If you've got some soil, you don't even really need a shovel. You're going to get some bags of soil. Break those open and dump them in. I like the little hand trowel. I get down there on my knees and trowel or hand.
So you don't dig up the grass? And...
I would put cardboard or newspaper down underneath there,
okay.
and just kill
Just
that off.
cover the grass.
Cover the grass
And then cover it
put
with
on-
dirt.
and then cover it with dirt.
Huh.
Eventually, that cardboard and newspaper will break down, but it smother out what's growing there now. Fill it with. I'm trying to think of how many bags of soil you would need, because it's 16 square feet is what's in a 4x4. So you figure, the 2 cubic foot bags, you got to figure out how many it goes in there.
That might do it.
A few of them.
Well, if I do it, it's going to be my Facebook. I'm going to be bragging about it all the time. Every little thing. Just like I did last year with my bananas.
With your bananas. That's right. Well, we'll have to get pictures of you setting it up and do the whole things and do it as a chronological and get it going.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. Right. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
My father's neighbor used to have trouble with gophers, and he found out that if he alternated a garlic or an onion between all of the other things that he was putting in the garden, it tended to keep those varmints away.
Yeah. Yeah, that can help.
Yeah. Okay, have a good morning, all.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. And a lot of times what people will do is, if bunnies, it helps with too, because they're strong smelling. That garlic and onion. You could even do things like garlic chives nearby in the area that it's supposed to help with squirrels also. And if you look at any of the repellents that are on the market, the pellets or the liquid of the repellents for the critters, the 4-legged fuzzies, they all contain garlic oil, peppers, the capsaicin out of the hot peppers, and all those different kinds of things that are they're not harmful to the animal, but it's a sensory. They get in there and they get a snootful of that, and they generally want to go the other way.
Do you ever see comedians in cars getting coffee? The Jerry Seinfeld thing?
No.
Well, he's talking to a comedian the other day. It's a talk show, basically.
Sure. Okay.
And he says when he had a rat in his garage and he had to get an exterminator to get the rat out of it. He said, but when I was a kid, he said, we had a raccoon messing with our garden, and my father soaked a bologna sandwich in antifreeze. Yeah. We came out the next morning. There was a dead raccoon in the yard. There were dead birds. He said there was dead animals all over the place. Nowadays, you'd get in trouble for doing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, even that, right, because, humanity, humane treatment of wildlife and such like that. And it used to be a big problem is that people did, if somebody, that they would put a pan of antifreeze, underneath their vehicle because, the neighbor dogs or whatever were coming in the yard, neighbors' cats and stuff like that.
I feel bad about a dog.
And well, feel bad about anything, you don't want to... Don't want to be doing that. Luckily, I think today's antifreezes won't do that. But even still, I'd not for, you put down, the only place for rat poison and things like that is in an enclosed, in a garage, in a shed where nothing else can get to these creatures. But then again, when they go outside and they die, you got to make sure that you do something with them because you don't want the hawks or the owls or your dog or your cat to bite them because apparently that can be picked up from that dead animal, that those rat poisons and things like that. And then you've got a sick, either your pet or, or other wildlife. So I'm one, snap traps work well.
There's Matt.
Yeah. Sticky traps work well. Have a heart traps will work, and then just a big garbage can full of water, can take
That's what I
care
did.
of them.
I hated doing it.
Just drop them, drop that in there and put the lid on them and walk away. And
you don't want to look at it.
No. Come back a few hours later.
Well, we got a half hour to go, but we're going to take a break right now. If you want to be on the air with Carol Ann, ask a question. That's what we want. We want you to want that. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. We expect President Obama to nominate someone to replace Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia sometime next week. The Republican presidential candidates say he should wait until after the election. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders disagree.
At a rally in Nevada, Clinton said the Senate has a duty
to decide whether or not to confirm whoever the president nominates.
Sanders had a similar message for the Senate at an event in Michigan.
You talk about the Constitution a whole lot. Well, how about obeying the Constitution?
Senate Republicans vowing to hold up the nomination process.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. More than a dozen homes damaged by tornadoes in the Florida Panhandle and Mississippi.
It was me and my dogs and my husband, and I just grabbed them and went in the hall closet.
Kimberly Lusk in Strong Hope, Mississippi, says the storm just missed her house. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Any Napa guy knows, and science proves, the best minivan is the one you've already got. Part kid transporter, part drywall mover. Who cares if the faux wood grain is a little faded? That was a platinum package option in 1987. With over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. Because it's not old, it's vintage. That's Napa know-how.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. They just settled in. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Jerry panicked. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
Yep, you've got squirrels in your engine. Looks like they chewed through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Because music stirs up strong emotions, it makes it easier for our brain to store information about that event. Showering less will definitely help most people's complexions because hot showers melt away the oils that seal in moisture and keep skin supple. Dogs are man's best friend, right? But new research from Nature's Scientific Reports now shows that dogs also do nice things for other dogs.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Have you heard of Hyperdirectory? When looking for local businesses, go to hyper.directory. No need for www, no need for .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to local companies when it matters most. Hyperdirectory is your local business directory partnered with the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership to bring you trusted local businesses. Keeping Ocala local. Use hyper.directory. No www, not even .com, just hyper.directory. Connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
Check this out.
New shows? Check. Check. Some new talent? Check. The same great sports talk?
I'm seeing it right now.
Wrong. Wrong again?
Wrong.
It's better.
There are so many great things going on in sports.
We gotta get it. We gotta get it. From our mics.
Test.
To your ears.
The latest update we got is...
Awesome!
At Ameris Bank, we understand that there is no purchase more exciting than the purchase of a new home. We are dedicated to helping you find the mortgage that meets your needs and giving you the personal attention you deserve. Our mortgage options offer a variety of benefits, including up to 100% financing, down payment assistance, and expansive credit qualifications, all with the competitive rates and exceptional service. Call Ameris Bank today or visit amerisbank.com to learn more. We look forward to serving you.
Ameris Bank is an equal housing lender and member of FDIC, a loan subject to credit approval.
The Women's Veterans Health Fair will be happening on Saturday, February 20th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Ocala VA Clinic at the Cascades Office Complex at 1515 East Silver Springs Boulevard right here in Ocala. The Women's Veterans Health Fair. Don't miss it. If you'd like more information, give a call to 352-369-3320. That's 369-3320 for the Women's Veterans Health Fair at the Ocala VA Clinic in the Cascades, February 20th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m.
WWOCA,
This is WOCA, News Talk 1370.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. I'm really thinking about doing the dirt thing. Is this also a sign that I'm getting older? I'm going to do the dirt.
You're going to do the dirt.
Do the lettuce. I'm not going to do, what did you say? The
radishes.
Turnips, radishes. Yeah, I'm not.
You're not a radish person. Okay, yeah.
Lettuce I'll eat. Tomatoes I'll eat.
Right.
Onions I'll eat. Can I grow onions?
You're a little late on trying to get onions started. Yeah, here in Central Florida,
Really?
we grow what they call a short day onion. If you don't get them in, we start to get into that rainy season, and onions don't like that much water.
Okay.
And but they still take 110 days before they're of size. So if you figure March, you're going 30, 60, 90, March, April, May, June.
Right.
We're starting to get pretty wet at that point normally, and it's, would be one of those things. To go out and buy a bunch of onions, it would cost you more than...
This is probably a stupid question. Will it be as good as the grocery store lettuce? Will the lettuce be as good as theirs?
It's going to be
better?
It's going to be different because you're accustomed to buying iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, they don't have. You can't do that.
And you don't really do too much iceberg right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what?
But we grow Bib. Bib is a nice lettuce to grow. It's what they call a loose head lettuce.
That's what I need.
The black-seeded Simpson is a good lettuce. Again, it's a leaf lettuce. So, but I mean, they're nice lettuces. You can actually get the mixes and. You put those in, and they're different colors and different shapes, so you get a little different texture, little different flavors in there. Some of them, have a tendency to be a little bit peppery.
So what do you do? Just top together 4 pieces of wood that's 4 feet long?
4 feet, 4 feet long. Just make sure that however you butt up one end, you do the same thing on the other end so that it doesn't end up crooked. Yeah.
Fill it up with dirt, and then you're in business.
And if you want to where it sort of follows that square foot gardening rule, is take and measure out on each of your sides and put a nail every foot and run a string between each one, breaking that down into your 16 small squares.
So 1 square foot per thing.
Per thing.
Okay.
Or as I do, I'll plant 2 or 3 of one item. Yeah, because I want more than just a little bit at a time.
Right.
Like right now, over at the extension office, I have 8 squares. 2 have carrots. 2 have one kind of lettuce, 2 have another kind of lettuce, and 2 have spinach. So there's 8 of them. I have the other 4, which I haven't planted yet just because of the cooler weather, that will be tomatoes and peppers, and I'm trying to think of what else I'll put in there. Probably, it may end up being all tomatoes and peppers.
What do you grow onions from? Seeds?
Onions, I have grown them from seed. The seed looks like a piece of dirt, almost, or like a big piece of dirt.
Amazing. That's amazing, isn't it?
But normally, what we'll do is we'll go out and I'll buy the started set.
I mean, an onion is an underground thing,
right?
So you won't know it's ready until you pull it out.
You'll see them begin to come up out of the ground. They'll actually, you don't plant them very deep, and you will see the bulb forming as it's growing and getting larger. You don't bury those.
Does that have a flower too?
They do, but you don't let them go to flower. Usually, if it's trying to put up a flower spike, you go out and break those off.
Really?
And because then it'll force it to make a few more layers, make it grow a little further, put its energy into growing the bulb, not the flower and the seed.
Yeah.
Now, if you were someone who was a seed saver, so long as you're not going with those hybrids, the Texas 1015s, the Gran X, the Gran O's, and things like that, those seed will be viable as, something you could save, allowing 1 or 2 to go to seed as well, and realizing you may just get a smaller, possibly a smaller onion on that.
So I can just do it and walk away from it, basically? Do I got to water it every day?
You do have to water it, not every day. You can always...
everything grows in my yard without me doing anything.
That's true, but vegetables are a little bit different. They take a little bit of care. Walking through, and just because it's little, I mean, it's not big. You walk over and you look at it and you go, oh, look, I need the watering can and give it some water. Or, oh, look, there's, a critter has come in. Smush, he's gone.
A critter?
A critter, a bug.
Well, a bug. Okay.
Bug.
Just
oh, look, there's flowers on my tomatoes. I can watch for, for tomatoes.
So the birds won't come and decimate it? What's the word?
I've never had a big problem with birds getting into the vegetable garden. But then again, some people put a bird feeder in the garden. That's actually... There's 2 rules or 2 sides to that. I'm the one of, I really don't want the birds pooping on my stuff or encouraging the birds to peck on my produce. Yes, they'll eat some bugs, but why would I necessarily encourage them and invite them in by putting a feeder in that area? Plus, any of the seed they don't eat from that feeder drops on the ground and becomes a weed issue that I now need to tend to. And not only does your bird feeder encourage the birds, it will also encourage the squirrels. Squirrels will do some serious damage in a vegetable garden if given the opportunity. So I try to keep those guys out of there. But they, normally wildlife will find enough.
What time of year did we do that tomato thing? We were growing tomatoes
in the early spring.
It was like about now or a little bit later.
Yeah, about around.
Why don't
now.
we do that again? Let me. I'll buy one or two of them, and we can do that again.
We actually.
We have a video
there's
of that.
There's a couple of neat little things out on the market now. Instead of those, there's ones that it's like a little pod, and it is its own peat pot. And it has its own soilless cube inside of there, and it has its own seeds. And all you do is you take that and you put it in a pot of dirt, and you water it. They're kind of for kids, but there's several different varieties. It's in order to encourage children to garden. Real simple, easy ways. There's a couple of different kids-type gardening things out on the market. There's the Grow-ums, which those characters almost remind you of the Veggie Tales, if anybody's familiar with the children's stories that have run a biblical background or a moral background. Is the Veggie Tales. Well, Grow-ums, their little characters sort of remind you of those. And so you can grow your own cucumbers and tomatoes and things. And then I believe it's Miracle Grow has their own system, their own ones that they're doing. But there's a few different ones out there on the market. Depends on which garden center you go in, though, what you might find. But they're all kind of fun. They're actually fun for us too. You don't need a whole package of watermelon seeds. You only want to put them in one pot. And so there's, a way to, just go with that.
We did these when I was activities director at Park Place. We had these indoor flower boxes that we did. And they were pretty good too. And it was directly, I think the results were directly related to how much care they were given. The ladies who didn't really look after their boxes, they really didn't get much. But the ladies who were there every day looking at it.
Exactly. That came through, that talked to them, and things like that. And it is directly related on how much, if you walk away from anything and ignore it, say a vegetable garden, weeds will pop in.
But these were indoors. Is that why?
Well,
maybe outdoors, the natural rain and all that will.
Well, that makes a difference. That makes a difference too. But yes, if somebody's coming through and watering and paying attention and giving a little fertilizer, or on the idea of marigolds, deadheading those that would encourage more flowers to come on and things like that. So attention does relate. What you put into it, you get out of it. That's works with anything.
Usually.
Normally, usually. You're right there.
But in my case, I put nothing into the banana plant and got a bunch of bananas. Well, what I put into it was that suggestion from a listener to take the bananas and put them in a black bag with an apple. Remember?
Right.
And that really did the trick.
That
was amazing.
It did one.
And the apple was pretty good too.
It was. It didn't. Okay, so it didn't go bad on you.
No.
Good.
No, it was pretty good. We're just about up to another break. We've got another 15 minutes left in this program, In the Garden with Carol Ann. If you would like to have a question answered by Carol Ann, you are invited to call to ask your question. The number is 622-9622. That's 622-WOCA. If you're out of the area, I see some people looking at you on the video here. The number is 352. So 352-622-9622. We will take a little break and be right back.
Weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Tornado watch in effect until 8 a.m. for Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties. After those storms end, though, just variable clouds with a high of 76 to 80 today. Tonight, mainly clear and cooler, low 45 to 53. Wednesday, mostly sunny and nice with a high 71 to 75. And Thursday, partly sunny with a high of 69 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Evan Duffy.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today. Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online. Beautiful Moments Party Rental presents the Ocala Wedding and Events Expo 2016 on March 3rd. This event has caterers, photographers, florists, musicians, plus food, fun, and more. Brides, bring your bridesmaids and friends alike. 100% of the ticket sales goes to the Inflammatory Breast Cancer Network Foundation, and they're only $15 each. So mark your calendars for March 3rd from 5 to 8:30 p.m. for the Ocala Wedding and Events Expo at Beautiful Moments Party Rentals, 3400 Southwest 60th Avenue. Questions, call 307-8180. That's 307-8180.
All right, 14 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann, you have a call waiting on hold.
Great.
Good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air now with Carol Ann.
Hi, good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Bob, I was wondering if it's too late now to plant potatoes.
To plant
And I'll say that to
potatoes?
listen.
Oh, okay. Question is it too late to plant potatoes? Not really. They should do okay. Actually, I just put some in today myself.
Did you?
I meant to.
And what'd you do? Seeds or potato?
No, you do potatoes from what they call seed, but it's not a small seed. It is a potato.
You buy that at the...
You buy that at, the big box stores all have varieties of potatoes, but places like Seminole Feed, Tractor Supply, they're all going to have what they call seed potatoes.
Right.
They're certified disease-free. And
that's good to know.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Because what you have in your house is the harvest from the year before. It's been sitting in a warehouse. It's, they were treated with an anti-sprouting agent, though, yes, they do begin to sprout. They will grow, but you're not for sure that they are fully, disease resistant. They are disease free. Only because of how long that they've actually been around. So when you buy them, you want to buy the certified, usually putting them in an area that's a little bit of humidity in order to encourage them to sprout some, and then you can find the eyes, making sure that you're getting about what they say a 2-ounce piece. If you've got a small potato that's sprouting, that's you just put those right in, and that's what I did with what I had bought. These were smaller pieces, each with a couple eyes done, and
maybe I'll do potatoes.
you could do some
I would eat
potatoes if you
potatoes,
got but they do take up more space.
They do. Okay.
They do.
That's not 1 foot. 1 square foot.
No, I think when I did them in a square foot garden, I did 4 feet in a 1 foot wide, but I also went down a full foot. So it was the potatoes went in the bottom because you continued to then fill that up.
Oh, okay.
But-
Let's go back to the phones.
Right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, Carol Ann.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to pass a tip on to some people. I've lived here all my life, and there's two things that I really had success in growing. It's in my backyard. I took about 8 buckets and filled them up, and I think it was maybe the last week in September or the first week in October. I planted them with the mustard greens, and I've been eating mustard greens all winter. But I mean, you just go out and it's real simple. And then one other thing I had success with, I got a grapevine, and of course, I think it's about 4 years old. And this past year, it had so many grapes on it, it was just pitiful. I mean, with those two things, I put the grapevine on a fence line, on a long fence line, and it really, really done good. And so if you want mustard greens and grapes, that's a good thing to try. Okay,
There you go. All right. Yeah, and mustard greens most of your greens are pretty easy to grow. Mustard greens, I think you do got to kind of have a taste for them because they are a little more on the, what do you think of mustard? A little more on the spicy.
They require butter and salt,
Yeah, they
right?
take, bacon. Bacon and onion, anything. Same way with collards. I love collard green. I love greens. I prefer when somebody else cooks them. They always seem to come out better. Yeah, but
That's true for
those
everything.
are real good. Those are real good to, as a starter. So are green beans. Green beans are an easy starter plant for most people coming into a garden, starting with a tomato plant.
But I'm thinking, the things that you don't have to cook, like lettuce and tomatoes and onions. You don't have to cook that stuff.
You don't have to cook them. That's right. You can just take it. You get your
Potatoes
lettuce.
you do.
Well, if you have your tomato, your lettuce, and your onions all growing, then all you need is
some bread
some
and
bacon.
bologna.
and a slice of bacon, a couple slices of bacon, or some right. You have everything to make your sandwich, or however you'd like to do. They usually say a square foot garden will produce enough salad fixings for a couple, for two people.
For how long?
For during the season as you rotate things through.
Okay.
Now, eventually, we do get too warm to grow lettuces through the summer months, but you can put in other things. Again, it's just rotating through squash, cucumbers, tomatoes, your peppers, eggplant. Some of those things you will have to cook, Larry, but they're fun to grow. They're pretty, and they do a great job in the garden.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol.
morning.
And I tell you, I had a neighbor come over the other day, and she was telling me, how do you get these camellias? And I guess they're blooming or something, but I'm blind, so I don't do nothing to them. I just left them there. But before I lost my sight, that's the worst thing that I remember. I used to keep a garden year-round.
Yeah.
And, boy, you just don't know. I tell you, I miss, because I never hardly bought vegetables from the store in the back of my yard, and I didn't really use fertilizer most, and stuff like that. But I could grow everything. I used to grow tomatoes, you name it.
Oh, yeah.
Cucumbers, everything in the backyard, and just a few rows, and I kept, most of the stuff, the vegetable stuff, year-round. I grew corn and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Corn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, corn.
Corn, I love to grow. I'm a corn. I love corn when it's in season. Oh, that's one of my favorite.
I love it when it's in butter.
Foods. Yeah. Oh, butter. Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys have a good one.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. There at the Ag Center, we have a couple of different ways that we demonstrate, and part of it, I had moved it. I used to run a regular 24-foot 24 foot long, 4 foot wide, which gives you 96 square feet of planting area. It represented like a fence line in someone's backyard,
Right.
and how much you can plant in that. I'm down to using a smaller bed on doing something like that same kind of thing. But again, how much you can put in. I think the one I'm doing now is 4 foot. 4 foot wide we recommend that because you can reach from either side.
Okay, right.
And that's the square foot garden's 4x4, so you can reach from all four sides. If you're going longer, you're only going to reach from the outside. And raised beds, you can always put your hip on the one side and reach in a little further, with your hand tools and things. But it's I think I'm 4 by 16 feet now, but I can still put in corn and tomatoes and green beans and squash, all of these things all at the same time. You plant them a little closer together. You have fewer weeds, more effective use of your water, more effective use of the fertilizers or amendments that you're putting in.
Could you grow a cucumber and then do whatever you do to make it into a pickle?
Pickles? Oh, yeah.
Have you done that?
Oh, yeah. They're delicious.
How long does that take?
Depends on, I think the one, I've even bought them as the packets. It's 3 days in the fridge. I mean, once you've got your cucumbers and you wash your cucumbers off, slice them up or spear them, putting them in your container, mixing your brine up and put them in because it's like a refrigerator pickle.
What, do they sell brine at the store?
There's like a kit. I'm not. I won't say it's like an envelope, and then
What
you
is
add
it?
the added ingredients.
Vinegar?
You're going to add your vinegar and your water, but it's
Okay.
all the spices.
Okay. Oh, okay.
All
okay.
the garlic and the dill and all of those kind of things. But they
Are they
came out real
better
good.
than like just buying a jar of pickles?
They're different only because they're fresh.
Mhm.
They're not commercial, so they're not uniform necessarily. Unless you use a mandolin to slice a kitchen mandolin, not
A
the
mandolin? Okay,
not
okay.
not
You should,
not
Caroline-
Robin's instrument.
Caroline saw my face. I had no idea.
No, for slicing to where you get perfectly even or
That's what they
even
call it, a
doing spears.
mandolin?
Yeah.
Huh.
Where it's just
What
it's
does it look
something
like?
it's like a box that has a slicing blade on it, and you would slice down, and it gives a uniform
Well, who
slice. or
decided
the-
to name two things the same thing?
I don't know. The instrument was probably first, but if you think about the strings to it and the equal spacing between or something, I don't know.
Okay.
But that's probably what has something to do with it. But yeah, homemade pickles are really good. I mean, and a lot of people will do it with their own recipes. They've got a recipe that's been passed down generation to generation. But if you're quick and
Do
simple
you
and
have a
easy,
WOCA
it's here.
cookbook?
No, I don't.
I gotta get you one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so many years ago we did this,
That's
but
it, right.
they're still online. I can get.
Oh, can you find one?
Yeah.
Cool. Neat.
Yeah.
But that was. But those little kind of fun things, and those are fun to do with kids too. I mean, if you're new into gardening, you're not the big old school. You've got grandma's canning recipes and things like that, or you're not ready to go that big, and just want to do a small amount. You can even go to the farmers markets and stuff and get the little pickles. Pickling cucumbers, and do a small batch. Same way with strawberries are in season. You can make some strawberry jam, and you don't have to make a massive amount.
Oh man!
You can make a couple of small jars of strawberry.
We were looking at
preserves
the
and
ingredients
things,
in ketchup,
Yeah.
and it's basically high fructose corn syrup, vinegar, and tomato paste.
And
With
I
the-
buy one without the high fructose corn syrup.
Well,
so
that's what we
it's,
should all do,
tomato-
right?
yeah,
They say
yeah.
that's not good
and
for
there's,
you?
Right, there's salt, there's a couple other ingredients, but yeah, vinegar and tomato paste.
That's it,
and,
huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's originally, I think, because there's even some that are just, pretty much your tomato paste or tomato sauce.
Well, how do you make
know.
tomato paste with a tomato?
You cook down that tomato, and then you begin to remove the liquid. That's all you're doing is
okay.
like condensed milk is the water
How come there's no
removed.
seeds in it? You do that?
It's been strained.
Hmm.
Yeah, strain through it, or it's all it's ground.
I bet
up
that
and-
tastes different. If you
Tomato
make your
paste.
own, if you make your own ketchup,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to have a different flavor. It's because it's not going to have preservatives and things like that, and,
Yeah.
and excessive salt and things like that in it.
have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, good morning, good morning.
morning.
Hunt's brand ketchup doesn't have the high fructose corn
Right.
syrup.
Right. Yeah, that's the one I end up. I guess I buy.
So I got to try looking for that.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the Green Wise one? What is that? Is that good?
Greenwise is going to be an organic.
So it's just probably.
It's just organic, and it's not going to have your preservatives. It's not going to have, more than likely, won't have that high fructose corn syrup either. It would either just use a regular sugar, if it
You know
needed.
the problem
or-
with this is I'm all excited about it right now.
and then wait till it's time to do it.
And then you will see because everything, disappears.
The enthusiasm, and that's what happens.
I'm a man
to,
of the moment.
And that happens to a lot of people when they get going. That's why starting small, starting with containers, makes it easy. The square foot garden, because if you find out you don't have the interest, you haven't put forth a huge
But it's-
expense.
I think if I just went and got the seeds,
Yeah.
then I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
That's all I need. It's just the seeds.
And start the and get started.
So bib, that's the kind
Bib
of
lettuce, that's it.
Bib lettuce.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're ready for Stanley
Ready-
Spencer to
Ready
sing.
for Stan to send us out the door. Everybody have a
That
great
was a fun one.
gardening
And look
day.
at the sun
The
came
sun
out
came out. Yay!
during the show. Wow, that's nice.
So everybody have a great gardening day.
Thank you, Carolyn. That was
Thanks,
fun.
Larry.
That was fun. We'll be right back.